I'm standing in a post office, and I'm about to cry. This is not a typical day for me, by the way. It's late. I look at the lady at the counter. She is an older woman. She's got a wrinkly shirt on. She looks tired. I'm tired. Neither of us wants to be here. But I'm in trouble, and I need her help. This morning, I was supposed to get my passport, which was on its way back to me with a visa to go to Italy. So it was shipped by the Italian embassy, and I was supposed to get it, and in about a week, I would go on an international conference, on an international trip, and present my very first research results that I had produced as a PhD student. I was so proud of these results and so excited to show them off to the entire astrophysics community. I got a notification that said my passport had been delivered, and I went to my mailbox, and there was nothing in it. So I was standing in the post office looking at this woman and trying to get her to understand the urgency of my situation. And I asked her, "Can you tell me where my passport might be?" And she looked some things up and she said, "You know what? It looks like it's at a very similar address to yours in North Carolina where I lived. But in Florida." Anyway, next person in line, please. I am stunned. I had worked so hard to get to this moment. Moving across the world to study physics, finding an advisor who was willing to do research with me, spending a year at my desk trying to produce research results that made some kind of sense, weeks and weeks of preparing a poster that I was going to take with me, printing it, getting it all together. And because I'm an international student and my passport is from India, I can't just walk into a country like Italy. I have to do a whole other layer of planning. And that takes several months too. So it's several months of figuring out which Italian embassy to go to, get all the documents together to convince them that I deserve a visa, please let me go, and show my research to these other people. And at the end of all this, you have to leave your passport there and come home and wait for the decision, whether they think that you deserve to go or not. So now, with this piece of paper not being in my hands anymore, I saw that I would not be able to do any of these things. And on top of that, I'm now in a foreign country as an immigrant without any documentation. So I cry. And something about this reached the woman at the counter. And she said, "Okay, let me make a call." She called up the post office in Florida who had gone and delivered my passport to God knows where. And they answered and they gave her a phone number to contact. And there was some other conversation going on between them. I didn't quite catch all of it, but I got a phone number. I got a lead. And so I went home and I started calling and calling and calling. Nobody's picking up. Eventually, I get in touch with the people where my package had went, and it was the shipping company, turns out. And this very nice woman answers and says, "Oh yeah, we got your package. I think we've shipped it to Honduras." I have nothing to say to that, and I start spiraling. Not only am I going to lose all of this work that I've put in, now I'm thinking about disappointing my advisor who also put in a lot of work into this. And I'm thinking, if a piece of paper can make the difference between all of this work being put out into the world or lost, am I a burden on her? Should she be working with somebody like me? If she was working with an American student, none of this would happen. They can focus on the science and they don't have to worry about all this extra paperwork, which, by the way, if you hate paperwork, I do not recommend being an immigrant. And I'm spiraling, and I start writing my very apologetic email, apologizing for existing, apologizing for being here, feeling like a burden on her. And my phone rings. For some reason, the people in Florida had decided to go talk in person to this shipping company, and they found that my passport was there. It had not been shipped to Central America, and they retrieved it, which, by the way, I'm not even sure any of this is legal. Like, they definitely didn't need to be doing any of this. They retrieved my passport, and they said, I have it. It's in my hands. And the next day, they shipped it back to me. Again, I'm not sure if that's legal, but I had my passport. A week later, I was in Italy. I presented my poster and actually won a poster award. And I was so happy, and I stood on that stage, and I looked out at everybody, and suddenly, I didn't feel like such a burden anymore. Not because I won a poster award, but because when I looked around the room, I saw, much like this room, it was full of people from all over the world. Many of them probably had similar stories as mine. Many of them might not be there because of those stories. But it struck me how, at its core, science is international. None of us are burdens. We all belong in it. Now, I'm a professor, and I've got my international students and postdocs coming. And no matter how much I hate paperwork, I will do it for them.